In my last video, I had discussed about reading and writing fill in the blanks, and Manoj had asked me how we can manage time in reading, which got me thinking. Because time management is important not just in reading but also in other sections of PT. In fact, in the entire test, if you do not know how to manage time well, you might have problems. And that's why in this video, I'm going to talk in detail about time management in PT. We'll look at all the question types and we'll find out how much time we should be spending on each question type and what is the basis for that. If you're interested, keep watching. If you are new to this channel, my name is Roman. I'm founder of Roman PT. We offer online and face-to-face classes to people in Australia as well as people all over the world. If you're interested in our services, please visit our website romanptmelbourne.com.au. Let's talk about today's topic, that is time management. In order to manage time well in your test, first you have to remember there are two types of questions in your test in terms of time management. These two types of questions are questions with bulk time and the questions with individual time. So what I mean by this is questions with bulk time means in these questions or in these sections, for the whole section you get total amount of time, but you don't get time allocated for each type of question separately. Questions with individual time means these are the questions where you get time for each type of question. Now the difference it creates is the questions which have individual time. For these types of questions, you do not need to worry about time management because the system itself prompts you to go to the next question once you finish a particular question. And the questions where you get time for individual type of questions are, first one is speaking, and the second one is writing. In speaking and writing, you get time allocated for each question separately. That means when you finish one question, the system prompts you to go to the next question and you do not need to think about how much time to spend on one question. So time management is not important. Also, I want you to know that speaking and writing both are output-based skill, which means Pearson wants you to think about how much time to spend when you are presenting the information. On the other hand, the questions where your input skills are measured, you get bulk time. And these question types or these sections are reading and listening. So in reading and listening, you can see yourself that it's all about how much of the input you can receive and analyze and process to answer the question. So all the question types where the evaluation is mostly about your output-based skills, individual time is given to each question and you do not need to worry too much about time management. Whereas in all the sections where input-based skills are mostly measured, you have to think about managing time well. Okay, now let's talk about time management in reading and listening. We'll look at all types of questions we get in reading first. We'll talk about the time management for each type of question. Once we finish that, we'll discuss listening as well. So in reading, we get 5 different types of questions. And these days, Pearson has made a significant change in reading, and that is the questions in reading these days come in a particular order. In the past, they used to come in any order, and anyone could get question in any possible order in the exam. But nowadays, they are asking these questions in a definite order. So your test these days starts with a question called fill in the blanks, reading, and writing. This is the most important question in your exam. Since this is the most important question, of course, you need to make sure that you get all the answers correct as much as possible. Not just this is an important question, this is also a difficult question compared to other questions. This is the perception of most of the students. And that is the reason I recommend that you spend around 3 minutes on every question. The next question type you get in your exam is called multiple choice questions. Now we have 2 types of multiple choice questions, and among them the first one you get in your exam is multiple choice questions, multiple right answer. So I'll write that in a short form MRA, which stands for multiple right answer. And these questions, although they are difficult, are not important, and that's why you should only spend 1 minute per question. The third type of question is reorder paragraph. Now, in terms of importance, reorder paragraph would come between more important questions and less important questions. So it's almost in the middle. For this question, I recommend that you spend 2 minutes only. Now, the next question type you do in your test is called fill in the blanks. Now, fill in the blanks is the second most important question in your exam. Since this is important question, that's why again you should try your best to get all the answers correct. But we all know that fill in the blanks itself is not that easy. If you think fill in the blanks is difficult for you, please check my video about how to do fill in the blanks question, which I published a few days ago. Fill in the blanks itself should not take more than 2 minutes for you for one question. So you spend only 2 minutes per question, and the last question you get in your exam is multiple choice question, single right answer. Multiple choice questions and single right answer. Again, this is not so important question, so do not spend more than 1 minute on this question. So let's quickly go through all these questions. Fill in the blanks and fill in the blanks reading and writing. These two questions are more important than any other questions, so your focus should be in getting these questions correct as much as possible. Since fill in the blanks usually has a longer paragraph compared to fill in the blanks and is also more difficult or confusing, try to spend not more than 3 minutes per question in fill in the blanks reading and writing. Fill in the blanks is the second important question in your exam, and for this, do not spend more than 2 minutes, and the reason is usually the paragraph is shorter compared to other questions. But still it is important, that's why you are spending 2 minutes. Reorder paragraph is the third important question in your exam, and you spend maximum 2 minutes on one question. The two less important questions in your exam are multiple choice questions. Do not spend more than 1 minute per question. So remember, in reading you get around 20 questions, and for that you have around 40 minutes, which means roughly we can say that you can spend around 2 minutes on one question. But we also know that some questions are more important than others, some questions carry more points than others, and because of that we can't just say that we should be spending 2 minutes on one question. Rather, we have to think dynamically and allocate time accordingly. So this is how you should manage your time in reading. So now you have seen how to manage time in reading. The next question type where you need to manage time is listening. Okay, now we have finished discussing about reading, so it's time to discuss about listening. In listening, we have two parts, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is the part of listening where we are asked about summarize spoken text. For this question, we don't really need to think about time management. The reason for that is this is a question where there is time for individual question. So that means I don't need to really bother about thinking about the time, because if I'm running out of time, the system automatically prompts me to go to the next question once I have used up my total time. So summarize the spoken text is the question they ask in this section, and you get 10 minutes for this question. 10 minutes per question. We might get up to 3 questions in summarize the spoken text, but in part 2 you get total time, and that total time is around 23 to 28 minutes. And in 23 to 28 minutes you have to finish all the 7 types of questions. So you have 7 types of questions here which come in a particular order that you have to finish. So what is the problem? The problem is from each question type you might get 2 to 3 questions. 2 to 3 questions. So theoretically speaking, I might get up to 21 questions. But remember, in write from dictation, actually I can get 3 to 4 questions. And because of that, if I'm not careful, I might miss dictation. Now, dictation is a really important question, and if I miss dictation, there is no way I will get more than 79. So no matter what happens, I have to attempt all the dictation questions and make sure that I have maintained an accuracy level of more than 90%. So in what order these questions are asked? Let's have a look at that, because that will help us to understand what we should be doing and should not be doing, which questions we should be doing properly, spending more time, and in which question we do not need to spend more time. So the questions come in this order. I'm writing in short form so that it's faster for me to write all of this. So the first question we get here is called multiple choice question, multiple right answer. And after multiple choice question, multiple right answer, the next question you do is called fill in the blanks. Then after that, you do highlight correct summary. And then followed by that, you do multiple choice question, but this time single right answer. And then you have select missing word. Followed by that, you do highlight incorrect words. And finally, you have to do write from dictation. So you can see here, write from dictation is the last question type in listening. And that is the reason why poor time management in listening can be disastrous. As I've already told you, missing write from dictation means it's impossible to get more than 79. Now, how can we make sure that we never miss write from dictation? Of course, with good time management. But what does that mean? You need to remember that you cannot skip recording. So, good time management does not mean that you skip any question. Because if you have already listened to the whole recording, there is no point in skipping to the next question. You can make a guess based on what you understood. If that guess is correct, you will get points. If not, you are not losing anything. So, skipping is never an option, is not rational. What should you do instead? Instead, you should spend less time on questions which carry fewer points and more time on questions which carry more points, or on questions where spending extra time can improve your accuracy. For example, you should never spend extra time on multiple choice question, highlight correct summary, multiple choice question, single right answer, and select missing words. The reason for that is, even if you spend extra time on these questions and get everything correct, you don't get that many points for that accuracy. However, spending extra time in these questions might mean you may not have enough time for write from dictation, which is a more important question. And that's why whenever you are doing these questions, try to answer the question before the recording is over. And if you are not able to do this, even when the recording is over, make a guess. That's it for these 4 questions. Now, the rest of the 3 questions are really important for your test, but still, in highlight incorrect words, you should not spend any extra time after the recording is over. There are 2 reasons for this. The first reason is because in highlight incorrect words, you are comparing the recording with the passes. Once the recording is over, you don't have anything left to compare. And the second reason is, if after the recording is over, you start spending extra time reading through the passages, it might actually confuse you more, and you might end up changing your answer or clicking on the wrong word. But this question has negative marking, which means these kind of guesses after the recording is over can actually cause more damage. That's why I don't recommend this. Now, the 2 questions where you should spend extra time are fill in the blanks and write from dictation. So, how much extra time should you spend on these questions? On fill in the blanks, I would say you should spend recording time, of course, because you can't skip the recording, plus around 30 seconds. Now, it does not have to be exact 30 seconds. It can be sometimes more than that, sometimes even less than that. So, what should you do in these 30 seconds? Check your answer for 2 things. First, for its grammatical accuracy, and second, for its logical consistency. What that means is you must make sure that your answer is grammatically appropriate in the context. That means in the past or present, in the singular or plural form based on the words around it and the structure of the sentence, and logical as well, so that you are not making any errors related to homophones. And then for write from dictation, you should make sure that you have at least 1 minute left for each question. So that means if you have 2 questions, 2 minutes, 3 questions, 3 minutes, 4 questions, 4 minutes, and so on. Here as well, after you finish writing your answer, check the grammar and make sure that every word you have written makes logical sense as well. Otherwise, you might not get points. And if you still want to learn a few extra things about write from dictation, you can watch my video about write from dictation, where I have discussed 5 important tips and tricks which can help you to improve your score in the test. So overall, in listening, for the time management, you do not need to worry for the part 1, but for the part 2, you have to focus on only 2 questions, and these are fill in the blanks and write from dictation.
I hope this video was useful for you. In the video, we discussed the importance of time management, and in summary, you need to be more careful when you are doing reading and writing fill in the blanks, fill in the blanks, fill in the blanks in listening, and write from dictation. These 4 questions that you get in reading and listening can sometimes be difficult or tricky. And if you pay more attention to these questions and follow the advice I gave you about time management in this video, you'll not have any problem managing time in the exam. If this video was helpful, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. And if you have any confusion about what I mentioned in the video or about anything related to PT, write in the comments and I'll make sure that I make a video about that. And if you don't want to miss that video that I'll make for you, hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon so that you don't miss the video I'll prepare for you. All the best for your upcoming exam if it is coming soon, and have a good time until my next video.